name is Colby Benson.
I'm Shelby Benson.
I'm Carthy Benson.
And I'm Faith Benson.
And we are Crimson Apple. I'd definitely say our upbringing in Hawaii was really nurturing. Very family-oriented place. I feel like we were really blessed, really lucky. Especially as far as our musical journey. The music scene out there it's like a big family and a very great place for us to learn and to grow and to kind of come into our own. We are a quarter Japanese, and I think French, German. That's kind of a tough one because our dad actually, when he grew up, he was in a family band. What's kind of funny is after he experienced that, he decided, like, I'm never going to let my kids be in a band. Like, I'm never going to do that to them. And growing up, we weren't really super surrounded by music except for, you know, our parents listened to, like, smooth jazz, and I think our mom listened to country. It wasn't until we all decided individually that we wanted to pursue music that our parents were like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. We didn't really come from a musical family, but I feel like our parents are musical in their own way. I just don't think that they influenced us that much as far as our musical tastes growing up. When Shelby and I were younger, our mom found a Phantom of the Opera CD in her closet. I think she was doing some spring cleaning, and she was like, oh, maybe the girls would like this, so she gave it to us, and I guess we loved it so much, we played it in the house nonstop, and we would leave it running, and our mom would have to go and turn it off. And one day she came home from work, and she could hear the opera, you know, from upstairs, and she's like, oh, they left the CD on again. And as she was walking up the stairs, she was like, okay, wait, there's no music, like, who is singing? And at first she thought Shelby was singing because she was older than me, but when she opened the door and I was singing, she was like, oh my gosh, like, you actually have a voice. And so after that, she was like, okay, we're going to sign you up for voice lessons. And my mom really was what kind of started me singing, and she was kind of the first, like, driving force to get me to find my passion.
Actually, it was our mom. We were running, like, a song that inspired the name, and she came in and she was like, oh my gosh, what was that lyric? And it was Crimson Apple, and we were like, that's amazing. That's perfect. Yeah, we should use that.
When we started playing together, I think there was sort of this connection between us, and we all just realized, like, whoa, this is happening, and this is what we're probably going to be doing for the rest of our lives, because it felt really just right.
Really organic, because when people find out we're siblings, they're like, okay, like, mom and dad told you what you're going to play, and you were raised to do this band thing, and it really wasn't like that at all. We kind of just, at different points in our life, felt inspired. You know, for me, my mom, like, you know, helped me find my voice, and with Shelby, she started listening to Paramore, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and so she picked up the guitar in high school, like, on her own. And then Faith and Carthy, you know, had their own passions. That kind of started all at different times in our life. There was a point where we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, hey, we all play instruments and we make up a band, like, why not start one? And so it was kind of really relaxed at first, and we didn't know that it was going to be, like, our career path. It was kind of like, oh, let's do this. And then we started playing together, and it was like, whoa, like, we're supposed to do this.
You know, when we were in Hawaii, we realized pretty early on that there wasn't a very big scene for the style of music that we do. Hawaii actually has a very artsy, they have a lot of music, they love live bands, but our genre is just not as popular there. And, you know, towards the end of us being there, we were going back and forth between maybe 2 or 3 venues, and we realized we had gotten to a point where we had done everything that we could do in Hawaii. We had accomplished everything that we felt like we could have done. We opened for All Time Low, we released our CD, and we realized, hey, if we're actually going to do this, if we're going to make a career out of this, what is next? Really, I think it was our mom, again. She's kind of been the driving force behind everything, like, kind of telling us, like, hey, you guys, maybe you should do this or think about this. And she mentioned, I think you guys need to seriously consider moving. And so we did. We talked about it with the family, and our parents started applying for jobs, and it really just kind of happened all of a sudden. The right job came along, and our family just moved. And we actually ended up, we have kind of a story where we got here in LA. Everything had happened so fast. We sold our house in a week. We were living out of, like, an apartment. We were practicing at guitar centers, and we're driving home one day, and our mom just starts laughing in the car. And we were like, wait, what, Mom? What's so funny? And she goes, we're actually here in LA. Can you believe that we moved here? Like, I've literally just realized, or it has just set into me, that we just moved our entire family to LA. And that's kind of what happened with us. We literally knew nobody out here, and we don't really have family out here. It was just us and our parents, and it was really like starting over. As a band, we had to start looking for open mics, like any kind of opportunity that we could play, and hopefully we would get there. Maybe we would play a couple of songs, and maybe the venue owner would like us, and we slowly had to build from there. It took a long time, and it was definitely starting over, but yeah, it was a cool journey, I think.
Well, Shelby graduated from college. I almost graduated before we moved, but I had like 2 more classes and I wasn't able to complete it before we moved to California. So that is definitely on my bucket list for the future, but for right now I'm like super focused on the music thing. Carthy graduated high school and Faith is she's a senior, or she's finishing up her senior year. Oh, she's finishing up her junior year.
I'm homeschooled, so I sort of just do a little bit of school every day, so that's why it's dragged out so long, because I actually am more focused on music than I am on school.
But school is very, very, very important.
Yes.
And she will finish.
When Amuse found us, we had known who they were for quite a while because we looked up to a lot of the bands that they already have under them. We were kind of freaking out. We were trying to play it cool, like when they contacted us. You know, they came to a show, and then, you know, we did another couple of showcases for them, and it seemed like they were really interested, and we really talked to them. We got to know the team, and we felt really comfortable, like, with the people that we were working with. It just felt really right. Like, this was the path that we were meant to take. It was very exciting. We just felt that with Amuse, and that's what we wanted with a company that we're going to work with. We wanted to be comfortable and like know that we're working with good people, and that's what kind of really got us into with Amuse. And of course we know that they're such a successful company, and like that's amazing, and it's been amazing working with them so far.
I feel like it wasn't really difficult for me to write the song. You know, I think what was harder was actually like confronting the feelings in the first place. For me, I come from a really like warm, like family environment. The fact that I was struggling with depression like didn't make sense to me, and I knew it wouldn't make sense to my parents and to my sisters, because they have given me everything and they've given me such a loving environment. And so when I sat down to write Can't Get Out of Bed, I was just like realizing like I'm like struggling with this, and I didn't know how to talk about it with my family, and so the only way I really knew how was to put it in a song, and it kind of just all like the lyrics just like flooded out of me. It was like really like easy and instant, you know. So as far as like composing like the lyrics of the song, it felt really natural. It was definitely like a hard time in my life. If you're struggling with depression, just know that it will get better. I'm definitely in a better place now. One of the things, and I know this is really hard because for me it's still a struggle, find little ways to take care of yourself. Figure out what are your triggers. Figure out what are things that lead you down a bad path. Just always be constantly thinking of yourself, like your mental health. And even if you have to stop and like take a breath for a second, it's okay and it'll be okay. Our music has changed a lot. You know, when we first started, like with our first album, you know, that was really a collection of songs that kind of showed our growth from becoming a band to like when we had released the album. So it was really a growing period for us. You know, it was really like the beginning. And so since then, you know, since we moved to California, our tastes have changed, and we've just spent a lot more time like on our music and our arrangements. And I feel like we've grown and as musicians, and our production has definitely grown a lot. Oh, that's great.
Y'all, always passing the questions to me. You know, every step of the way, like as we've been growing as a band, there's always something new, something else that we have to overcome. And I think something that we always struggle with is like when to know where we are and what we've accomplished and what we've done. Because I feel like we're always constantly striving to be better, and we kind of think, oh, hey, we're not where we want to be yet, and we're always trying to like move towards that. And sometimes it can get discouraging knowing that we want to be this much farther out, but we're only here. And sometimes it's something that we need to do to step back and say, hey, like, we're doing what we love, like, this is fun, we've accomplished so much together, like, as sisters and as a band. It does, I think, get hard being sisters, like, we do have like our occasional fights and things like that. It is definitely different working with family. I guess that's like a small challenge, normal stuff.
L is for the way. It's everything, yeah. We do music because we love music. We do music with each other because we love making music together. We are together because we love each other, and yeah, that's what love means.
I feel like we're very blessed that we get to do this together. You know, we recognize that what we get to do is unique. We love doing what we do, and we love being together, and that's really it. I think one thing that we've always really aspired to do as a band is to just be a positive force, but to also be, real and be honest with our struggles, because I think a lot of people listen to music not just for an escape, but to recognize that other people are going through the same things that they are. And, above all, we just want to be relatable to people, and we want people to connect with us. And I think that's really what we want to be remembered for.